morning and namaste from India. I, Dr. Anil Manjhi, Assistant Professor from the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences at IIT Raipur.
And I'm Rahul Tiwari, PhD Research Scholar Law from Pandit Ravishankar Shukla University, Raipur, India.
Welcome you all to our presentation on the topic Role of Cultural Reverence and Legal Recognition in Advancing Trans Employment in India. As we are basically going to talk about our experience as we are continuously working with the transgender community in India, being transgender rules and policy making committee members. Here we have a development in the trans employment ratio, and we try to find out what are the parameters basically behind increase in the trans employment. And as I have deep interest in the study of mythological studies, and my colleague, my friend, is a research scholar in law. We tried to find out the reason, and to our surprise it was the cultural reverence, religious reverence, and also the legal recognition which transgender community obtained recently. So we are going to deal with it. As we are about to talk about cultural reverence in India, the lamp lighting ceremony and the recital of mantras are done at the beginning of every auspicious occasion. So we will recite this prayer for you all.
Subham karoti kalyanam arogyam dana sampada satru buddhi vinashaya deepa jyoti namostute.
It means I pay my salutation, namaskara, to the light of the lamp, which brings auspiciousness, prosperity, good health, abundance of money, and wealth, and the destruction of the intellect's enemy. With this, we begin the presentation. To begin with, we will first introduce the purpose of our topic. It explores the role of cultural reverence and legal recognition in enhancing employment opportunities for the transgender community in India while highlighting the current progress in this context. To achieve this goal, we will explore the diverse identities of transgender individuals in India, their status across four historical periods, their cultural, religious, and historical significance, their legal recognition, notable achievements in trans employment, and our experiences interacting with the Indian transgender community. It will be a very different, presentation because we are dealing with the cultural thing and the legal recognition. Our scenario in India is quite different. So we are kind of in a starting stage. So research is of that level. We would like to emphasize that India is culturally rich country governed by rule of law, and it consists of 28 states, 8 union territories, 22 scheduled languages, 99 non-scheduled languages, and 424 living languages. The diversity is so extensive that we adhere to the ideology of unity in diversity here. The diverse identities of transgender people in India encompass cultural identity, social identity, and legal identity. To grasp these identities, one must explore the history of India. However, it's important to emphasize that for Indian people, religion, mythology, and culture are interconnected. Religion is intertwined with mythology, and culture is an integral part of religion. So, therefore, the historical significance of the transgender community is validated by this unique interplay. So, to understand this identity, the history of India can be categorized into ancient, medieval, colonial, and post colonial period, all of which are significant to the dignity and status of transgender individuals during those times. The ancient period signifies the cultural identity of transgender people. The important role played over in the ancient period are the epics. As you very well know, that epics are long narrative poems in elevated styles, recounting the deeds of legendary historical heroes, similar to the Iliad and the Odyssey, which you might have read. So they have a religious and cultural context in India. So in India, there are two significant religious epics. Those are the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. And these epics feature important transgender characters, which we will explore in detail in the upcoming slides. Similarly, the Purans are a class of Sanskrit writings that explore Hindu mythology and folklore of varying dates and origins. They include significant transgender characters such as Ardhanarishwara, which is being mentioned in Ling Puran, Skanda Puran, and we have Ardhanarishwara is basically a half male, half female entity mentioned in the Skand Puran and others, as I have mentioned. The transformed incarnation of Lord Vishnu is known as Mohini. As you can see, it has been mentioned in the Vishnu Puran and the Bhagavad Puran, and uh, Kinnaras, that is mentioned in the Padma Puran and Agni Puran. These Puranas are writings in Sanskrit, as I have mentioned. Now, let's move on. Let us examine some of the ancient mentions of transgender figures. First is Ardhanarishwara. As you can see in the picture over here, this it represents God in unified form. This picture represents the union of Purush and Prakriti. Here, the male aspect, which you can see on the left hand side, is Lord Shiva, the Hindu god. While the female aspect is Prakriti, on the right hand side, goddess Parvati, that is the Hindu goddess. In fact, it is an androgynous composite that symbolizes the creation of life in ancient Hindu texts. Next is the Mohini incarnation of Lord Vishnu, another Hindu god. Actually, Indian mythology or Indian religion is based on the concept of three Dev, that is Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Brahma. Here, basically, we are talking about two lords or two gods, that is Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu. And Mohini is the avatar or the incarnation of Lord Vishnu. The story or the mythological significance which it holds is when the gods and demons, as you can see on the left hand side, the left sides are the gods and the right side people are the demons. They churn the ocean milk to acquire the elixir of immortality. And as soon as the jar of elixir came up, there was a dispute between the gods and demon over who would obtain the elixir. So Lord Vishnu devised a way to make the gods immortal. So he transformed into a form of beautiful lady, as you can see on right hand side picture, Mohini, and gave the elixir to the gods. She was so beautiful, even Lord Shiva, the one of the gods which I have mentioned, he was attracted to her. The transformed form of Lord Vishnu, leading to a union that resulted in the procreation of Lord Ayappa. Okay, again another god who is known as Harihar Putra, the son of Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu. Both are male, but Lord Vishnu transformed into female Mohini and they united. Now, as I had mentioned earlier, two epics. One epic was Ramayana, one epic was Mahabharata. I'm going to talk about the epic Mahabharata. It is again consisting of two significant transgender characters. One character is Shikhandi, as you can see on the left hand side picture, who was originally Shikhandini, a female character. She was pivotal in orchestrating Bhishma's death, another key character. And on the right hand side, you can see the character of Brihanalla, another such character. Actually, Brihanalla is the transgender figure of Arjuna, the important protagonist in Mahabharata. When Arjuna rejected the sexual advances of celestial fairy named Urvashi, she cursed him to lose his masculinity. So, to mitigate this curse, the god of heaven, Indra, reduced it to 1 year, during which time Arjuna lived as Brihanalla. So Brihanalla is the character time or character figure when Arjuna lost his masculinity and he lived as a transgender. Further analyzing another epic, Ramayana, which consists of long elated narrations of Lord Rama, the incarnation of again Hindu god Lord Vishnu. There is an instance mentioned in the form of Chaupai, that is
जथा जोगो करे विनय प्रणामा विदा किए सब सानुज रामा नारी पुरुष लघु मध्य बड़ेरे सब सन्मानि कृपा निधि फेरे.
These lines means when Lord Rama was exiled from the kingdom for 14 years, the citizens of his kingdom Ayodhya followed him. Along with his younger brother Lakshmana, he turned around and bowing humbly addressed the followers, requesting that, mark my word, listen carefully, that is, all women and men, whether young, middle aged, or old, please return to their homes. However, since transgenders, neither being male or female in terms of Indian context, they did not heed the instructions and they waited for Lord Rama for the entire 14 years. Upon Lord Rama's return from exile, he saw them waiting for him. Impressed and pleased by his gesture, he granted them the power to confer blessings on auspicious occasions such as marriage, childbirth, and inaugural functions in Kali Yuga. So, based on this blessing conferred by Lord Rama, in current scenario, the transgender people of India, they follow the tradition of asking for badhai. That is, although they are stigmatized, although they are marginalized, but when people see them, they take their blessings considering the religious context which is connected in terms of epic Ramayana and get their blessings. So this is quite interesting fact. And as we have talked about the cultural identity, let's move on to the social identity. For this, we will move to the medieval period or the Mughal period. We find that during this period, transgender people held several significant positions of power and influence. They served as trusted advisors, administrators, military commanders, and mediators. Some notable eunuchs are like Khwaja Itimat Khan or Itibar Khan. I'm giving the historical context. Like he was during the reign of Akbar and he used to manage state finances. There was also Khwaja Talib during Aurangzeb's reign, and he was a trusted advisor. And again, when we move to Javed Khan, they served during Muhammad Shah's reign and Ahmad Shah Bahadur's reign. They were conferred the title of Nawab Bahadur. Additionally, we come across another personality that is Yaqut Khan. They served during the Muhammad Shah's reign and uh, they was the superintendent of the royal kitchen among many others. So this indicates that transgender individuals led dignified lives during the Mughal period. But when we examine the colonial period of India, which began in 1600 AD, we find that the status and life of eunuch started to deteriorate. Colonial laws deprived eunuchs of their primary source of income and basic rights, and it pushed them further into poverty and social exclusion. These are some of the pictures of that colonial era. And the reason behind this deterioration was the Criminal Tribes Act 1871. It created the category of eunuch, including hijras, khwaja siras, and kotis. These are different terms and names given to the eunuchs. And this act also conferred the power to arrest without warrant eunuch who dressed like a female, danced and played music, and took part in public exhibition. In addition to it, there was another section 377 of the Indian Penal Code of 1860, which provided for punishment of up to 10 years imprisonment and fines for voluntary carnal intercourse against the order of nature. Between 2014 and 16, 4,690 such cases of individuals were booked under this section. So this is how the transgenders were chained using law. And after independence in 1947, we find that the Criminal Tribes Act 1871 was repealed in August 1949, but this fact was neither highlighted nor popularized at that time. As Dean Roscoe Pound has said, law is social engineering. These laws socially engineered society to view transgenders as criminals or bad people. The result was marginalized and stigmatized condition for transgender individuals, forcing them to resort to sex works, dancing to survive, often living in slum areas. Okay, so apart from these hardships, The transgender in India have tried to live their level best to the fullest, as seen in the Kuvagam festival in India, where transgender people live a married life for one day by marrying God Aravan. Furthermore, let's look for the turning point in improving their condition. It is the historical judgment of Nalsa case, where transgender championed legal recognition in India as third gender. Now, I would like to highlight the link between cultural reverences and legal recognition. It is undoubtedly the Nalsa case judgment where judges, even the judges or the judiciary, quoted the historical background of transgenders using this epic Ramayana and Mahabharata as the highlighted lines are representing over the slides. And furthermore, the latest cultural reverence is in establishing Kinnar Akhada, a Hindu religious order in 2018 in India. Akhada is a gender egalitarian term that means the circle, or more precisely, the spiritual core, congregation, or league. So it was a breakthrough in 2018 that in a very typical Hindu country or who are very precise about this gender thing, transgender people got representation in the religious context, having this. And you can see the pictures of the holy dip that is called as Mahakumbh, which was very popular in 2025. Here, even the transgenders people got the opportunity to take a dip, somewhere finding their inclusivity. For further understanding the legal recognition, I would request my colleague, Mr. Rahul Tiwari, to throw light over it.
Thank you, sir. In this way, transgender were considered stigmatized in Indian society. But 15 April 2014 became a historic and a golden day for this community because this day the apex court, Supreme Court of India, gave a decision in favor of this community in the case of National Legal Services Authority and others versus Union of India, in which they were given the status of third gender, which gave them legal identity. And in this case, the court said, regarding their employment, that the transgender are also citizens of this country. They also have equal right to achieve their fulfilled potential and human beings. For this purpose, not only are they entitled to proper education, social assimilation, access to public and other places, but also employment opportunity as well. Center and state governments should also take steps for frame various social welfare schemes for their betterment. Here, simultaneously, we can see here the first picture, uh, four transgender persons hired by a private diagnostic lab working in the diagnostic laboratory in Noida, 63, India. The second picture in Kochi Metro Rail Limited in Kerala, India, which had 23 transgender individuals aiming to integrate them into mainstream employment and combat discriminations. The court also guidelines for the central and state government, such as Hinjra units apart from binary gender be treated as the third gender to safeguard their rights under Part 3 of Indian Constitution and the laws made by the Parliament and the state legislature. State and central governments should also take a step frame various social welfare schemes for their betterment. Now, the Indian Parliament passed the Transgender Person Protection of Right Act 2019. It was a proud moment for the transgender community in which a law was made to protect their rights. And in this law, provisions has been made for their employment, such as in this act under Section 3, which is a prohibition against discrimination, Section 9, non-discrimination in employment, and another one is Section 14, vocational training and self-employment. So further, government made some policies for this transgender community. In 2020, equal opportunity policy for transgender was passed by the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, took a significant step towards inclusivity by introducing the equal opportunity policy for transgender in 14 February 2024. This policy aims to ensure equal rights, access to education, employment, and social security, fostering a more inclusive and equitable society for all. Uh, Policies provision is a non-discrimination and enabling work environment, recruitment and hiring. So, the government framed the Transgender Person Protection of Rights Rules 2020 to effectively implement the provision of the policy and acts ensuring legal recognition, rights schemes, and welfare measures for the transgender community. In this rule, welfare measures, education, society, social security, and health of transgender persons by appropriate government, and provision for non-discriminations, equal opportunities in employment. Another one aspect is in the Transgender Employment Mela 2024.
Actually, after this Nalsa judgment, then came the framing of the policy. After that, the rules were framed, and the result or the exemplary, the instances or examples of increase in the transgender employment were seen. And as my friend has already discussed about the Kochi Metro and another diagnostic lab, recently in 2024 Trans Employment Mela, the word Mela means fair, was organized, which was quite fruitful. um, what happened here over here is like it is the initiative of the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Government of India. It was organized in New Delhi, and it was just not a business fair, but it was a movement towards economic empowerment, employment generation, and financial independence for the transgender community.
Because for decades, transgender individuals have faced barriers to employment, often being denied opportunities due to stigma and discrimination. Despite possessing skills, talents, and immense potentials, they continue to struggle for sustainable livelihood. The transgender employment fair is a bold step towards breaking these barriers by providing a platform for transgender entrepreneurs and job seekers to connect with businesses, investors, and policymakers. This fair created employment opportunities in multiple ways, like it showcased the skills and businesses of transgender entrepreneurs, encouraging mainstream participation, connected transgender individuals with potential employers, opening doors or job opportunities in various sectors, promoted self-employment and financial independence, helping transgender individuals create a business rather than dependence solely on external employment, encouraged corporate and government partnerships, paving the way for more inclusive hiring policies and workplace diversity programs. Similarly, in the state of Chhattisgarh, where belong, took a very commendable step for employment of transgender.
Actually, we are quoting here example of our own state where we reside. So this is the example.
Yeah, the
5 minutes
state
remaining.
Another minute here.
the state invited applications for transgenders in the recruitment constable in the police department, and the transgender candidate who applied was given free training for the physical test by the department, and finally 13 transgender were selected in the police department. We can see left hand side for this slide. And the state armed forces also invited application for constable in Buster Tiger, Buster Fighter, in which 9 transgenders of the state were finally selected. Thus, the state is employing transgender person in the field of security of state.
So in the private sector, we also find that they have been recruited like Vedanta Aluminium Business. Here, 7 transgender people were recruited. So not only government field, but also in the private field, they are being recruited. And here are the some sweet memories of interaction with the transgender people. As you can see, we have transgender activist on the first number on the left hand side. We have transgender celebrity on second number on the right hand side above top. We also have actress on left side, the lower one picture, and to your surprise we have ex mayor in the on the right hand side, the lower picture, the lady, beautiful lady in the white sari with the red flowers. So to conclude, we want to put up the point like India is so religiously entangled and with the thoughts. So it is very difficult to separate that aspect. So taking the help of the religious and cultural, references, even law established dignity and opportunities of employment for transgender people. This is quite amazing. You would have found it very different as compared to the other papers. So we need to look out for every nook and corner in order to build up an inclusive society for transgender. That is a context. And India is so diverse that it won't be possible without giving references to the factors which we had talked about. So this is our conclusion, and we would like to, as we have started, we would like to end our presentation with a mantra for everyone. That is,
Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pasyantu, Ma Kasya Dukha Bhagavet, Om Shanti Shanti.
it means that may all be happy, may all be free from illness, may all see what is auspicious, may no one suffer. Om, peace, peace, peace. So with this, we would like to end our presentation. Thank you so much for your uh, listening, giving us so much time. We are welcome for collaborations. Thank you so much, organizers, for giving us the opportunity. It's our